There's simple strategies and tactics. It's whether you will do them or not.
Consistently.
Yep.
Every day.
Hey, Jack Lehr here, down in Lehr's Lair. I have these two guests alongside me today, Krista and Tate Kruszon.
What's going on, Jack? How's it going?
I'm doing great. Krista?
I am fucking fabulous.
Okay, there might be a little bit of that here.
Not a lot. I'll keep it as G-rated as possible.
Okay, well, Krista does this. She's on social media. You do this. You do this podcast, right?
I do the Gritty Glitter Badger podcast.
Yeah, Gritty Glitter Badger podcast.
Yeah.
Very nice. And Krista maybe drops a couple of passion words on occasion.
Yes.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
So she does this F Yay Friday.
FYF, happy FYF for Fuck Yeah Friday. And I have a YouTube channel that's also called Gritty Glitter Badger. And I talk about things that happened during the week, wins, losses, things that I learned. And then I always have a curiosity that it's something that pops up in my mind. For instance, one week I was curious about farts. So I looked it up and I did research and I did a whole curiosity on medical terminology and different interesting facts.
Very nice. So I think today's going to be a lot about Krista, but we're going to include Tate.
Yes, I'm still here too.
Tate's going to be here. Jack's going to be here. Because really, Krista's going to really just take this thing over. Powerful women in our lives. I know it's going to happen. So Tate,
without a doubt,
it's just going to be like it's the Gritty Glitter Badger podcast.
That's it.
Just
That's
have
it.
fun.
And I'm okay with that.
I'm super okay. After our conversation we had upstairs, I'm excited about this.
Excellent. Excellent.
I feel a little pressured right now, but that's okay.
You shouldn't.
Yeah.
The huge viewing audience. Hey, everybody out there. How you doing?
So many people.
I mean, my gosh. Shane. So let's get started here. So we'll talk a little bit about Tate to start.
Absolutely.
Okay? So I met Tate probably earlier this year.
Yep.
And Tate comes from the world of what?
Home inspection.
Yeah.
Yep. Home check.
He's home check. He works alongside of Steve Johnson.
Steve Johnson, owner of Home Check, been owner for 30 years.
Wow.
30-year milestone for Home Check. This is an awesome accomplishment. And I have 10 years in for home inspection, but I've got like 35 plus years combined between service and maintenance, building remodeling, and the home inspection. So I got a wealth of knowledge as far as, homes.
Yeah. And I think one of the beautiful parts about Tate is that in your profession, the thing that I see and I've experienced is like you're not a deal killer, which happens quite often in the home inspection, and people get very afraid of hiring that inspector to come into their home and go, here's what's wrong, here's why you shouldn't buy the house.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I pride myself on having the right mindset. So many of these other inspection companies out there, inspectors, if you're listening, it's a good thing to change. If you're going in looking for problems, expecting to find problems, or my job is to find problems, you're going in with a negative mindset. It's the total wrong mindset, because all you're going to do is you're going to be presenting these problems to these people, and intent are going to go up. You're going to kill deals. The agents aren't going to like you anymore. What I do is, and I teach my guys at Home Check, is we investigate to educate. I go in with the mindset of home education. Okay. Do we find problems? Absolutely. But it's all on how you go in with that mindset, that correct mindset to start, to where we can present those problems in a different manner. What it is, what it means to them, and means of correcting those things.
And most of these items are correctable, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, even some things that seem so insurmountable, for some people that have no idea about homes, home construction, or anything like that, I look at something, I'm like, man, I could have that done in a day or two, not a big deal, where they're like, oh my God, it's the end of the world.
Oh my gosh, there's some mold in my house. What am I going to do?
Exactly,
Well, there's easy ways to deal with that, and there's professionals that can handle that.
Absolutely. Here's what it is. You get it corrected. Here's the ways to keep it from coming back. Yeah. Okay, so, why is it here? Mm-hmm. So it's all about education, and that's what we lay out to the people. To say, here's a problem. you got this problem up here. And, you know, I hate to point out, what was that TV show, the home inspection show that was out recently?
Oh. It was on HGTV.
Yeah, it was on HGTV.
I mean, and they really built it around the dramatics of a television show.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
it was.
I can't think off the top of my head.
It was a guy that ran it,
Home
right?
Inspector Joe?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Inspector Joe.
Okay.
Inspector Joe, yeah.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
Yeah, it just happened to catch one episode, and he's walking around, and, you know, he's talking about a loose brick on the chimney. He's like, and he's telling the people, literally, that thing falls off the chimney and hits you in the head. It's lights out. It's over.
Yeah, great. And you also have the ability to get struck by lightning, too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's my point. So when we see stuff like that, I'm like, some loose brick, deteriorated mortar, it needs to be, they take it down to its stable, they build back up, and they fix it. I'm not here to say, you could die from that. I mean, that's just
I can die walking
crazy.
down the street.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We take our chances getting behind the wheel of a car.
You do.
Every day.
But the scare tactics that come alongside of most home inspectors, shame on you.
Yes.
Not on this guy, though.
Change the mindset.
Yeah,
Yep.
love it. So, but I think the big thing is the mindset. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today, mindset, because that's critical to advancing in life.
Just, life in general.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or even just having a decent life.
Oh, yeah, it's the difference between having, the highest, most optimum, like incredibly high frequency vibe life, or just, being a victim to your circumstances constantly and living in a heightened sympathetic state 24/7, which is kind of where we're at, take kind of out, which is where we're at now.
We are in it.
We are literally perpetuating a sympathetic nervous system state 24/7.
Yep.
Stress is the second leading killer, according to the CDC, right now in our country.
Might be number one.
If it isn't close, it
leads to so many other things, right?
It
It leads to cancer. It leads to, the heart disease. It leads to so
Everything.
many other things.
And that's why it shot up the list. I mean, it was right after the whole COVID situation, and it just,
Think
shot
about
right
the
up there.
anxiety that not everybody, but let's talk about children that experience that. We're going to school, lockdowns, and again, we're not going to get into the politics of it. That's not important today. It's more about helping people with mindset and understanding that there are corrective actions that can be taken. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they're easy. They're simple.
Well, they're simple.
You have to do them.
But the simple part is that there's simple strategies and tactics. It's whether you will do them or not.
Consistently. Every day.
Okay. Let's talk about frequency, because I thought that was just so... I just love that.
The law of attraction, frequency, energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what specifically? That we vibrate.
Yeah.
So we had talked about earlier, so humans have a natural frequency between 62 and 70 megahertz, and that means that your body's in a healthy, vibrant, alert, optimum, productive state. And then anything below 58 megahertz, you start to get into negativity and you create disease. And it's all based off of thoughts. Thoughts are energy. Thoughts create feelings. Feelings create action, whether it's taking action or inaction. It's still a vibration. It's still a frequency. We're talking right now, and I'm giving off a frequency to you. Men are around 100 to 120 hertz, your voice, if I'm correct, and women are 1 octave higher. Children give off 300 hertz when they speak. Our energies are commingling right now because we're talking to each other.
Okay.
And the same thing is happening right here.
Yeah.
But here's something else that's interesting about frequency. Listen, I'm such a nerd when it comes to this. I can deep dive on this forever.
I can attest.
He's not talking, but we're actually speaking to each other right now through virus. Virus communicates
viral communication.
all the time.
Viral communication.
Viral communication. We're actually having a viral communication with each other. It can either be a high vibe or a low vibe.
What do you think's happening right now?
It's off the fucking charts. It's just totally epic. And it's interesting because I've really, I think the invisible growth, and I know Ed Milet talks about that a lot, and the compounding. And in 2 years, and you don't see it, but the growth I've experienced just from, I'm starting a business, Gritty Glitter Badger, and it's going to have, basically it's that mental fitness.
Okay.
And it's coming from language. And, what type of thoughts are you having? How are you speaking? Written. What images, like hieroglyphics, still tell a story. And it can tell a great story, or it can tell a negative story. Or the story can be sad, or it can be a circumstance that wasn't good. But are you learning from it? Is it something that you're telling people so that it's an opportunity for you to grow, and then it's an opportunity for them to grow as well?
I mean, really, this is not the Lehr today. This is Gritty Glitter Badger.
Well, now
Krista Kruszon.
That's right.
Every time I hear Kruszon, I want to say the way I'm pronouncing it. It sounds like we're coming from Baton Rouge.
Nope.
Nope.
Not quite,
Oh, that's
nope.
Poland.
Polish.
Right?
It's
Yeah.
Polish.
So really, and we'll jump around a little bit, but say the correct pronunciation.
It's like cruise on down the road. Cruise on.
Kruszon.
Yep.
Not Kruszon.
No.
I
Okay.
mean,
No.
I mean, it could be.
you could, if you want to say that with a little roll on it, you can.
Sounds good coming from you.
Okay, very
Kruszon.
Kruszon.
Yeah, cruise on.
I just love that last name because I've known you, but I didn't know how the hell to pronounce your last name. I'm like,
trips
Tate Kruszon,
people
I
up,
see
I'm
that.
telling you, beginning with the K and then seeing the S and Z next to each other.
Yeah.
People are like, whoa, what's happening here?
Yeah, should it be this way?
Yeah, I was completely
Consonant.
way wrong. Yeah.
Yep.
So I believe this might be the Krista show, which is okay. All right.
I'd like it to be the All of Us show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, include us then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you can see where I get my mindset from.
Yeah.
She really has helped me a lot in the past few years to change the way I look at things and really grow and learn and apply that. And I've seen such a tremendous difference from where I used to be, just from what she has taught me. And we're constantly learning. We're listening to podcasts all the time, yours included. Ed Milet and Andy Frisella and Sean Stevenson. The Model Health Show is an awesome podcast. But just listen to all these things daily.
Reading.
So we're constantly learning. The reading,
read.
yes, yep. We're
Okay.
watching
I'm
TV shows.
Avid reader.
Are you listening or are you reading, actually?
I need an actual book.
Okay.
Like I do have a Kindle, but I need to have like that book in my hand.
Okay.
It's just.
That's where you really, you absorb it that way.
I'm totally consumed by it.
I love listening to it. I like watching and listening.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to love reading. My eyes are a little rough right now, meaning maybe I'm getting a little older. I got to put those things on.
No, don't aging. Aging is a disease.
I know. I let that disease into my world. I just got to stop
Dr.
that.
David Sinclair, have you read his book, Lifespan?
I'm very familiar with longevity.
Sweet. That's awesome.
Is it metformin?
Yes, but if you can't get metformin, berberine, which comes from...
I promise you can get metformin.
You can, but berberine actually comes from a plant, and I cannot remember. We have it at home because Sinclair talked about that. At the time, his book came out in 2019, I believe it was. And and actually Ed Milet was who he was on, and Ed Milet had been on the metformin, and they took him off of him, and he says, tell me to get you back on. And then he said
that.
berberine would be like the next thing that you can actually
there's some
get.
natural stuff that's pretty close to it.
Yep.
But with the metformins that were coming out and the compounding, there was some carcinogens in them.
Okay.
For a while, and that's why they. I don't know if that's an issue anymore, but I believe we started getting our stuff from a certain compounding facility.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
NMN.
We definitely believe in that.
NAD.
All right, that's me.
There you
Calcium, AKG.
Yeah.
go. Yep.
Love it.
Yep. Veratrol. That's another show.
Yes.
Yeah,
Resveratrol. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's from the grape.
Yes.
That helps.
Yep.
With
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
There's
This great
so
stuff.
much. You're
so
it's the cellular level, basically.
Yeah.
It's an interesting fact. Okay, I did squirrel. So every day, the human body, 330 billion cells are renewed every day. That's just you're not standing here and saying body renew. Like it just happens. Okay, so how fucking amazing is that, right? And then in 80 to 100 days, all 30 trillion cells, your body is literally brand spanking new. New, everything. So why are we in the state that we're in?
Is it Does it start here?
It starts here. It's the programming we talked about earlier, that, the imprint period, which now Dr. Bruce Lipton, they confirmed that in the last trimester to 7 years of age, children live in a state of theta, which is hypnosis. So when you're getting sleepy, the state where you're like still conscious, but you're drifting, that's theta. And so that's the point in your memory where you just take everything in. You absorb. You're a sponge. And that's what kids are doing. Literally everything in their environment. Your parents, your community, your family, what you eat, what you watch, all of it is just being downloaded into your brain. Your brain's a computer. There's no filtering. You're not editing. It's just taking it in. So when we're 7, which there's some discrepancy between 7 to like 12. There's still some coding that's taking place, but it's done pretty much by 7. And we here are the product of that 7-year-old self and all of the imprinting that has been done.
So guess what happens between the birth and 7 and even 12? There's a lot of no's being told to you.
Oh.
There's a lot of,
absolutely.
You can't do that.
You can't do this.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
So when you hear a can't, and it's the chirping of the adults that were in our lives, and God bless our parents, because
it's generational.
Yeah. Guess what I did to my children?
Told them no.
A lot of no's.
Of course.
A lot of you can't.
Yep.
Yes.
I effed up.
It's funny because with our granddaughter, I mean, when we talk about this all the time, we are just so conscious now. I don't tell her she can't, or if I say it's not something we can do, I explain, like, I give her an explanation that she can, and she's okay with that. Like, if it's a dangerous situation.
You're programming her, by the way.
Absolutely, and then we know that. And so, she wants to, do something, or she's frustrated by something. I'm like, you know what? It's okay to feel frustrated. It's okay to have, that's the other thing, emotion. Think about when we were little. Stop your crying. Don't be so emotional. You know, you shouldn't, express this or have that. Or why, you better hush that baby up.
Men don't cry. Boys don't cry.
Right.
Well, I'm sorry. The baby's 6 months old. What are they fucking supposed to do?
Well, that's how they communicate.
Yeah, they're not going to say, hey, I'm thirsty. I'd like my bottle, and can you change my butt while you're at it? Like, they're not going to say that. They're going to cry because that's how they communicate.
Yeah. Right.
But we're entrained that it's not okay.
And then what are you teaching them if, people say, oh, just let them cry? I'm like,
yeah, well, Dr. Gabor Mate put that one to bed. If you haven't read his book, The Myth of Normal.
I haven't.
Game changer. There are so many books that I think we should be doing in school. I was in education for 19 years, and
you saw how that's effed up.
Oh, I left
because of
for so many reasons.
It's teaching to one subset of individual.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
And it's missing the spectrum.
Yeah, it's creating cogs.
It's creating cogs.
Yeah.
It was based off of Seth Godin in the Industrial Revolution. He talked about that because they needed factory workers, and at that time, because it was a booming business, it was a new industry, and they needed those people that were going to be able to go into those jobs and handle it. Yeah. Well, we're still based off of that cog system. Yeah. We don't have cogs anymore. We have creators. We have kids, especially now. Our kids now,
oh my gosh,
the stuff they can do and develop and create. Even, I said gaming.
Oh, yeah.
For kids,
the computers and how fast they're learning this stuff.
It's amazing to sit down and you can create your own game that will be this, monetary. It could be a monster for you. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you're using your creative source, allow them to use their creative source. We're not machines. We are creative. We are a masterpiece. We're a piece of the master. Whatever the master is to you, it's still connected to universal energy. We came from that universal energy.
And some people can, I call it my God.
Exactly.
But some people call it the universal energy.
Your source, whatever works for you. Because it'll connect with you in here, in your heart. And that's whatever you call it, that's your vibe. And that's cool. That, that's the other thing, is saying we need to define everything by it doesn't work that way.
It's passion. I mean, you can tell right now. I mean, she is passionate about what she is talking about. I mean, she is a wealth of knowledge, and that's where I'm passionate about homes and helping people.
I think you're more passionate about helping people than you are about homes. I think that's what. So the first time I met you face to face was very interesting, because you saw me on social media because I
Yes.
decided to get out of my comfort zone and start doing this bullshit, whatever.
lives.
Lives and everything. But regardless, I got out of my comfort zone, started doing that, and then we met at a property that we were renovating and reselling.
Yep.
And you went through the home, and you were so passionate about just educating and helping.
Yeah.
Yep.
It just happened to be with the house.
The house is just
love
the
it.
product.
Yeah, that was.
I love it.
Your service is actually
Yeah,
the people and the helping.
I gotta tell you, like that's what that would shine through to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like heavily shining. Like this guy's here to help, and he's about mindset and stuff. And I was like, I know that we're going to be on the podcast or doing something together. So it's
Right,
pretty
right.
cool.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's awesome.
And then started seeing this young lady on social
Yep.
doing her FBA Fridays.
Yeah.
Yep.
She said,
FYF. Fuck yeah, Friday.
That's
okay,
right.
all right. Oh my
It'll be,
gosh.
listen, it's Krista Kruszon on Facebook and Gritty Glitter Badger on Instagram.
She'll give it like 17 more promos today. I promise you. That's okay.
Now I thought that
Wait, I love it. Did I just hear a?
Yeah, that is me.
I love it.
It just comes out.
I'm loving it. This is beautiful. You
well,
know,
let me ask you a question.
really?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So you said, did I want to answer your question? And I actually had emailed it in. What would be, right now, your top 5 books that it's the holiday season and there's a tradition, I believe it's in Iceland or Finland. And what they do is they give books to friends, family, like that's their gift.
Yeah.
So what would be the 5 top books that you would give to people this holiday season?
Yep. So very few people will truly get this and understand it. I'm not trying to be ignorant, but it is at a very, very high level. It took me many times of reading it and rereading certain areas. And it was actually, I read this when my first son and second son were when I was rocking them. And, my wife said, I need a little break. Can you feed them? And I stepped up 1 or 2 times. Maybe
Just 1 or 2?
Probably way less than I should have, but that was a great time to bond and hold my son.
It's that program.
My sons. I was sharing some love with them,
Yep.
but I read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Oh,
yes.
that. Yep.
That's my
I
number
actually
1.
just reread that for I think it's my 5th time.
So
Great.
just like Napoleon Hill says, so few are ready for it, and I
Yeah.
wasn't ready for it, but I got little pieces from it, and then I read it again, and I got more from it, and then I go back and listen to some of it,
Yeah.
and I go, oh my gosh. We talk about the ease. There's easy things to do that we just
Yep.
don't do. But that's number 1.
Yeah.
A little bit later, I read Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Oh, yep. Yep. Another
Love
great
that.
one.
And again, some people busted his chops, and it came out that maybe everything wasn't truly like literal, but the concepts were there, and I just loved what that was about. So it really resonated heavily with me because I wanted to invest in real estate and put my dollars to work to go out and build something.
Yep.
So that was big to me. Recently, Phil Jones, Exactly What to Say. Phil M. Jones, by the way. Exactly What to Say.
Okay.
And question trees or pain funnel questions, which I call them. I just love what that's about, and also the one for real estate. So those are like the 3 big ones that I recommend. I read parts of the new Ed Mylett book.
Yep.
I have not read all of it. And I love Chris Voss. Never Split the Difference.
Oh, see, I'm gonna have to.
So that's a negotiating
Yeah.
book. It is, boy, it's super powerful.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the Phil M. Jones.
Phil M. Jones. Honestly, it's Audible. It's a quick listen. It's a small book, and it is a great way to have conversations. But there's a philosophy that I've been involved with for about 20 years. It's called the Sandler Sales Training, and that, like, I read the books, but I've been involved in the training, and that has been instrumental in changing my world and those around me. So it's
That's
like
epic.
it's a sales system and process. But those are the things that are that have shaped me heavily. But then also the podcast, like Ed Mylett,
Oh, yeah.
Andy
Oh yeah,
Frisella,
absolutely.
little bit of Dan Pena. He's way too intense for most people
Like
out there.
small doses.
I'll be checking him out.
Yeah.
I like him a
Never
lot,
heard that.
actually, but
We'll be checking him
he's too intense for the masses. everybody's become way too soft.
And why do you think that is? Because of his delivery method, because of the message, because he
Both.
speaks the truth and he's just not filtering it?
Yeah, he's unfiltered fury. He's giving it and delivering it heavy, and some people cannot handle that. Just like some people can't handle me. Some people can't handle you.
Oh, yes, and that's fine.
I think most people can handle Tate.
Yes.
Because you are way more that incredible people person.
Yeah.
Like, yes, we can go there.
I'm
and be
way
there.
more adaptable. Like it's like fitting the situation. Whoever the client, whatever. Mirroring and matching.
Yep,
Where did that come from, honey?
Yep.
NLP, yeah.
Strategy.
So you mirror and match just to bring myself to their level,
Yep.
match their intensity to make them feel comfortable. And that's what I'm about in doing the home inspection so that I can make sure that I'm delivering that good home inspection experience.
So if you come in with a high driver like myself, we're going to go through it a lot quicker. If you come in
Yes.
with a high C that's going to process things and take fucking 3 hours to understand that there's a little piece of spec here that needs to be dealt with,
Yep.
you're slowing it way down.
Oh, I'm slowing it way down. I'm hand holding. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
To try to answer every single
So that's a
question I
trained
can.
professional.
Yeah. I would say that. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're just doing our deal.
Yep. There you go.
You asked me the questions, and we're not even close to being done yet. That's great.
Well,
No, that's
I
good.
can ask you more questions, like what's your favorite color?
Blue.
Okay,
Nice.
cool.
My eyes.
It's like Elf.
What's your favorite color?
Everybody says it's a black. No,
There's blue on the wall.
This just
Yep.
makes it easy.
There you go.
Yeah, like I said, I should have had sweatpants on.
You just blend in.
Typically don't wear
I blend
jeans.
in, and like if I can just buy 20 black
20
t-shirts every couple months, then it makes it easy.
It limits your decision making
Maybe a
throughout
pair of
the course of the
jeans and
day.
a
Yeah.
pair of orange sneakers.
So that was
or
the
blue
good thing about
sneakers.
Catholic school. What am I going to
Yeah.
wear today? Hey, I'm going to grab that plaid skirt, the white Oxford, get my socks and my shoes. Let's go.
Maybe a different pair of skivvies every now and then.
Boxers.
Okay, very good. Well, anyway,
there's a whole reason behind the boxers.
yeah, but that was your only decision that you really had to make.
Yep.
Yes, because the boys were dirty in school.
Well, wasn't that a concept? Who said that as far as
What?
like limiting your decisions that you have to make by having the outfits? Like I just put this uniform on every single day. I know what I have to wear. I don't have to decide what it is I'm going to wear because there's so many decisions we have to make through the course of a day.
Let's do it the night before. Put it out the night before. Concept like,
Yeah.
decide then it's done.
Just
Put
simplifies
more energy and effort into the
things that matter.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I need to do a better job of that. Sarah would definitely say that, right?
Hi, Sarah.
Sarah showed up.
Creeping in the corner.
Hey, Sarah.
Hey.
This is Krista Kruszon.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
He's getting the name down. Yep.
Sarah Kane.
Sarah
Everybody needs a
Kane.
Sarah.
That's right. Everyone needs a Sarah.
So, boy, there's so much.
There's so much to.
We already got into really quickly longevity, increasing your life. We talked about
And that was just
frequency,
skimming
and we
the
just
top.
and
I
we
mean,
and we
that's-
skimmed the frequency too.
Yeah.
Because the law of attraction is huge in my world.
So I have an interesting story about frequency, and I won't talk about specific people or specific events.
The names and the likeliness of the events that you're about to explain are to protect the innocent.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
There-
Exactly. But so the harmonic universal frequency,
Okay.
where everything is in balance, it's logical, there's unity, peace, it's pure, is 432 hertz. And so televisions, radio stations, anything that emitted that type of frequency was at 432.
Okay.
So in the 1940s, there were some experiments that were being done on people, and they changed it to 440. And they noticed that what started to happen was these people developed hostility, disconnection. They had the disconnect in their right and left brain. There was disruption, the entrainment of thoughts. And so they started to emit this frequency through radio, then television. And the United States did the same thing. So we are still to this day in the frequency of 440, but we should be at 432.
The government loves fucking us up.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
it's a solfeggio frequency, so there's all kinds of frequencies for healing
Yeah.
and different,
Because I do a lot of that, the subliminal
yes.
healing frequencies.
Yes.
And I think it's the 432. There's like a beta and a theta and a.
Oh yeah, the
Again, you know it way better.
gamma.
Yeah,
I
gamma.
mean, there's like alpha waves, and yeah, absolutely. I love the theta. That's probably one of my favorites.
I think I just listened to theta this morning. I felt super. Yeah, I felt super duper.
Chill. Yeah.
Sarah, was I super duper this morning?
He was feeling like this.
What's up? So there's some interesting little tidbits, and yeah.
What about language and speaking? Like if I say I think, this certain thing, or I feel like.
Well, I feel like is just it. So feeling's okay. Okay. So instead of with that, the language of emotions. So don't tell somebody I'm angry. Well, you're not anger. You feel angry.
Okay.
Two totally different concepts. One, by saying I'm angry, you attach to the emotion, then you create an identity and a story based off of it. If I say I feel angry, you're now feeling it, but you're detached from the emotion, which allows you to go through it, and you're not creating an identity or a story based off of it.
Or I think this is going to be a great podcast.
I think so. Take think out. It's going to be a great podcast. That's the soft talk. So some words, it would be like kinda, try, possibly, maybe.
Yeah.
Think. Other words that I have them written down here. I just have to write stuff down. But it's a soft talk, like we had said earlier, to solid talk. So one is it's like an escape language. You're not committing, and it's disempowering. Whereas if you're speaking with certainty and confidence, it's also owning what you say. You just own what you say. And don't think about, how it's not that how it's coming up, but you can't be worried about what other people think about what you're saying. 7.9 billion people, 7.9 billion different, perceptions in the world.
Yeah.
I could say, hey, have a great day. Well, their mindset isn't there. What do you mean have a great day? Okay,
Right.
I get it. I just wanted you to have a great day, but, your perception's a little different right now.
See, and I picked up on that too, is like with the home inspections and talking to people, is like getting rid of like I think or I feel, this way about a certain thing. It's just it is or it isn't. So when I tell people it brings off or displays more confidence in what I'm saying, to them. So they can be more confident in the inspection that they're getting.
Yeah,
So
I love that.
if you relate that to like in a business, even from a real estate standpoint, you have an agent, stepping through the door, and if their mindset and they're not speaking right, or it's like I think, I feel, rather than it is, it's going to go totally different.
Yeah, it's having your mind right, having the right attitude, having the right behaviors, and so it's interesting. Like we'll have like a team meeting every morning, and someone goes like, and occasionally we'll hear this. Today I'm going to try to hit my goals.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, when I hear that, I go fucking nuts because you're going to try.
Take try out.
Right.
Well, I'm going to hit my goals.
Period.
Are you committed or interested?
Yep.
So it's just changing those things and removing certain words.
Yep.
Soft talk, solid talk.
What did Yoda say? No try, only do. Get a little Star Wars going.
Can we bring that into our sales meeting in the morning, Sarah? No try, only do.
No try, only do.
No try, only do. Do or do not.
Kruszon.
It's still a choice, whether you do or you do not.
I know what I know Kruszon from. Isn't it a type of Oh, that's right. We don't talk alcohol because they don't drink.
Oh,
Okay.
stop it.
Yeah, I'm all about
Listen,
it. Dude,
I
we
used
had
to
our fun, man.
love craft beer.
Okay.
I would sit down and we'd be out and I'd be like, okay, hold on a second. And there's a term
she has
for
a
it
palate.
where
she
you
has a palate.
drink it, but then you do nasal breathing. And I literally could tell you everything that was in it, down to like sometimes they'll have like flowers, like a floral note, and I would tell you what exactly it was.
Damn.
Yep.
Yeah, so I loved it. Just for me with training, it didn't work well.
Okay.
She used to have an advent calendar.
Oh,
for
I
December.
made it.
Made it out of a box of
Deschutes.
case of beer. One beer a day.
Jubilee
Yeah,
Ale, I
something
believe
like
it was. I literally turned it on the side, took the top off, took sticky notes, and marked
Put it
it
on
1
each
through
beer.
24. And every day I come home and I'd be like, yes, please.
So we used to be all about
Yeah.
drinking.
Okay.
We did our
You
thing.
made a decision not to.
But
Yep.
yeah, I'm still the fun bus.
No, yeah, without a doubt.
I'm getting it.
Yeah. Get on board,
Fun
Jet.
bus.
I mean, I want to say something
And it's not
here.
the bus with the pole in it. I mean, it can be.
It is your show, Jet.
That's your bus to ride.
I mean, we can, whatever. We can,
Strudel
some
bus.
days
Oh my gosh, I love it.
in the Hot Mess Express station. Oh,
It
yeah.
was funny. I was watching a little bit of ESPN this morning, and man, I'm going to mess this up. But there was an incredible basketball player. I want to say the name, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'm just not going to say it. But he was a big beer drinker. My gut tells me that somebody up in Boston, and he took beer out of his life, and he won 3, I guess, Player of the Year awards.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just took the beer out of his life, and he just became a better athlete, a more focused athlete.
Yep.
Took the alcohol away.
It's the recovery process. Just from like training for as a CrossFit master athlete. I mean, you cannot have some drinks and then wake up and like the training 4 hours a day and to have, good high quality training, mobility reps. I mean, there's no way.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that, because that's something that you're both into, like fitness. You go on some hikes, I see on social media.
Yes, I love
Absolutely.
hiking. Yeah.
Love it.
Okay, love hiking. Mm-hmm. What's your favorite area to hike?
So still, for me to this day, is the Grand Canyon.
Nice.
I just
So,
that.
like what part?
Well, we did the South Rim to the bottom,
Okay.
and it in a day. It was. But it's you can't. You've been there.
Well, I've been to the Grand Canyon. I never hiked.
Yeah,
it.
I don't even. It's that thing. Like, there's no words. So for me, it literally was a life transformation moment. I said to Tate, from my perception, when we stepped around, there's ooh-ah point, and literally is you turn the corner and it's like, because the canyon just opens up. And everybody's like, oh, is that, I feel so insignificant. And I'm there. And I'm like, I said it's so weird for me because I actually felt the most significant than I ever have in my entire life. It's like I literally felt my soul, my spirit, vibe, energy, filled every crevice of that canyon. Like the connection to nature, I've actually never have felt that again like I felt that there.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
That's really cool that you guys. Did you experience similar?
I did not.
He
I
did not.
did not go. She used to do hikes for leukemia,
the
raising money.
Leukemia Society.
Okay.
So I would
Yeah.
go around the country
Yeah.
and do hikes, and that just happened to be one of our hikes.
So together, what's the best hike that you've ever done?
Oh, it's the Appalachian Trail without a doubt.
Yeah,
We do
which-
sections.
There's some good ones.
There are some good ones.
The Birch Run, where the shelter was closed because of bed bugs. I'd say that was.
Yeah, that was a little weird one.
And then the weird
What's the one that the York hikers tend? Where
Oh,
it's the
Clark's Ferry.
Switchbacks. Yeah, Clark's Ferry.
Clark's
Okay.
Ferry and
That's a good
Duncannon.
section.
That's a good
Yep.
one. Peters Mountains. I mean,
Talk Rock.
yeah. Tate's great for me hiking because I am like, okay, go get the backpack. Let's
Yeah.
go. Migrate.
Yes.
And then Tate's
Puts
like,
the blinders on. I'm just like,
Oh.
whoa, slow down.
in my
Take
head,
a
I'm like,
look
okay,
around.
the destination is here. All right.
I'm like, check this out.
I'm
man. This is awesome.
I'm counting my steps. I count to 100. That is like a survival technique, okay?
Okay.
And he's like, Krista, come here.
It's not a race.
And I'm like, you know what? Thank you. He'll hold my hand. He's
Yeah.
like, just walk with me. And to get me to slow down.
Yeah.
Because
Then you get
that's
to
the whole
appreciate it.
point.
And
Exactly.
they probably each other too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
He's a train wreck. It's actually it's great. Like the hiking is amazing. And he's the trail fox. Like that's his trail name that he was given. I'm the Sherpa. You have to be given a name. You can't just create your name.
Okay.
So I was, oh my gosh, I was given that 15 years ago because For a day hike, I'll pack 40 pounds. Like,
No, she packs everything.
if you need
So
it, I've
you're
got
carrying
it.
everybody's stuff, or you carry stuff to help everybody else.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
If someone needs
Did you
something,
forget
she's
water?
got
I
it.
got here.
Yeah.
Listen,
Oh,
what
yeah.
do you, wait, what? Hold on. I might
She's
have a
got
shoelace.
Band-Aids. Yeah, she's got it,
Band-Aids. Like, look, fruit roll-up, maybe. Let me check.
Yeah.
So you work out and do some other stuff too, right? You're into the CrossFit?
Yeah, I'm
Little bit?
actually taking
Okay.
a year off. I'm stepping away for a year because
Okay.
I'm training to qualify for the CrossFit Games.
Okay.
And so I'm like in the middle of, I'm like looking to transition from the coach that I'm with, whom I love, but I'm outgrowing the coaching program.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, you know what? It wasn't fun anymore. I'm like, I wasn't looking forward to competitions that were coming up. I'm like, you need to step away from it and just train for the sake of training and loving it. And that's what I've been doing for, 2 months now?
Yeah. Yeah.
And just like
Well,
finally
I
loving
mean,
it again.
It was go, go, go every single day, 2 days, every day.
But you're training for something that's going to be in another year?
I'm going to get back into competitive training a year from now.
Okay. So
Because
taking
the
some-
Open will come up in March.
Okay.
It's cyclical. So I will, at this point in time, next year, I will be starting training again for the Open in March. And I'm still doing the same style of training, just not with the intensity.
Okay.
Because I noticed, like, foundationally, my strength was, like, starting to go.
Really?
So I'm like, nope, that doesn't work for me.
No.
So-
Now she's been working on that Brooke Ant's ass, right?
That's right. Peaches are always in season.
That's right.
Ripe peaches are always in
Very
season.
nice.
It's actually important.
Is it?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
No, the health of your glutes will determine the health of your body. Think about your glutes as like, okay, so your solar plexus, right? You know the whole thing with the solar plexus and the health and well, that's what your glutes are for your body. It's literally like your back, your hamstrings, your hips. I mean, it holds everything together. So if you
Yeah.
have weak glutes,
Yeah.
you'll have back pain. You could have, issues with your hamstring, hips. Then it'll go down to your knees. Then it'll affect your ankles. And it affects your posterior chain, the erector spine, everything, your abdominal wall. So it's interconnected. There's a thing called gluteal amnesia or dead butt syndrome. That's on an FYF.
I'm telling you, she is
Because
a
I
wealth
had
of
to
knowledge.
look that up. I'm like, so it's typically people who have desk jobs or, they sit a lot and they have weak glutes and they start to posture. So they'll have poor posture. Yeah.
I just
Dead
wrote
butt
that down,
syndrome. Dead butt syndrome. It's a
Yep.
thing.
Very nice.
And I'm like, and I
Absolutely.
said to him, like, so what does it mean your butt forgets what it's supposed to do?
Yeah.
Which I guess it does.
Interesting. Wow. So, yeah, I'm kind of.
I'm like the squirrel.
Blowing Jack's mind. I like it.
I actually wrote down dead butt syndrome. Very nice.
It's legit.
There you go. So right now, what I'm doing is swinging maces. I
Yes.
love
Swing what?
The mace. Did you ever
Yeah.
see the mace? A big steel ball with the metal shaft. Just swing it
Weighted.
around.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weighted. They're awesome.
There's a video I did of him put up. It's epic.
Yeah.
I mean,
But that one, it's not really epic. I'm just still learning. But yeah, it's pretty
Take
cool.
it.
I love it.
take back. Say,
that's
you know
true.
what?
It was
It
really
was epic.
epic.
It was epic.
It was
It
epic.
was epic.
Yeah.
Period.
Remember, it's epic. It's a perception.
That's it.
I might not think it's epic, but
It doesn't
damn it,
matter.
your wife does,
That's it.
and you
Actually,
should
it
too.
doesn't
I
even
should
matter
too.
what I think. It's just
Yeah.
what you think.
That's it. All right. Well, it was epic.
We're getting back to the language,
That's it. Come full
Live
circle.
in action. See what's
Yeah.
happening here?
and that all leads to longevity. Because when you start doing that type of stuff, you lead to a longer life, right?
That's
Exactly.
right.
Potentially.
That's right.
Keep
Absolutely.
this right. Keep
Yeah.
this right.
Exactly.
A viable, vibrant life.
Yeah.
Not the way, society dictates that aging is supposed to happen. Aging is a disease. We talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
Human body's not meant to have disease. It's actually disease-free. It's what we do to it, the choices we make, our lifestyle.
And it's
that-
David Sinclair that talks a lot about that as well.
Yeah,
correct?
I'm doing a deep dive into that right now, like deeper than
Yeah.
and turning 50 recently.
Oh, 5-0.
Yeah.
Wow. Welcome to
Yeah,
the
go
club.
figure.
Listen, don't the people come out of the wall? Like, who are you? And the Medicare? Who's sending me? Stop the Medicare and the assistant. You're sending me a thing for a chairlift? I deadlifted 203.5 pounds last week. You're sending me a chairlift.
Yep.
Chairlift.
Yep.
ARP and chairless God bless you.
And the people that are like, well, you're on the other side now, so you really should start to slow down. You're at that point in your life. It's and they look at you like, I'm so sorry. And you know what? I'm sorry for you.
Oh, but you're lifting too much weight. You're gonna hurt
You don't
yourself.
lift.
You're too old.
Listen, I know 20-year-olds and I know 36-year-olds and early 40-year-olds that haven't lived a fucking life in many, many years.
Oh, yeah.
And probably don't ever plan to live a life. You're 50. Like, I'm planning to live to be 100 and maybe 42.
Hey.
So guess that
Okay,
means 71, I'll have my midlife crisis. I can't wait.
See,
There you go.
I'm going to buy my Corvette, 71, baby.
So you're only halfway there. Yep.
And I still got a little bit to go to 71.
Oh,
At least
yeah.
a couple years.
See,
That's
my
a couple
projection
lifetimes.
is 132.
What? Okay.
I actually said that when I was 9. I just told somebody randomly, hey, I'm going to live to be 132 years old. And they laughed at me. I'm still going to live to be 132. And if I want to go and continue to, then I'm going to go. That's, and I'm not going to be like decrepit. I mean, it's going to be viable, epic, fucking fabulous, 132 and beyond.
And that's how we're supposed to be. We shouldn't be like sitting in
Yeah.
a wheelchair at 80 and just surviving.
And think that that's it. This well, this
dealing
is what's
with
supposed to happen.
disease.
Again, entrainment. What's the social norm?
So think about like, so my grandma's 96, and she'll probably live to be like 196. But like my mom thought
great.
she was going to live to be like 85, and she's 96. She got a little bit of dementia like in the 80s, and we just met with her last night,
Yeah.
and she has better memory than most people I know. Now she can't remember some of the stuff from yesterday, but shit, she remembers little girl stuff and all the way through
Yeah.
up until just recent.
Yep.
Yep.
It's like, it's pretty awesome to see that. And we are trained to say, oh my gosh, like my schoolmates are dying. Oh, well, I'm next.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that negativity
Yeah.
comes alongside of
It's
it.
that fear.
And they'll post that on social media. You'll see that. People will put that up, and then it becomes this whole thing. It's like, boy, what are you putting out there? That vibe, the boomerang effect. You're throwing that boomerang,
Yeah.
it's coming back.
What you think about, you bring about.
Yeah,
right?
every time. Yep.
Yeah, it's something I just thought about actually right now while we're talking. When I was in high school, I thought being 40 was way fucking old. And I remember telling a couple of my high school classmates, and one in particular, like she was a good friend of mine, and I said, I'm probably going to just live up 42. And I'm sitting here getting a little emotional thinking about
Yeah.
that, and said, you know what? It was a couple years ago. I said, fuck it, I'm going to live to be 142. And you know what? If God takes me between now and then, okay. But guess what? I'm going to live my life as if I'm living to 142.
Yeah.
And you should. And you should.
Or maybe 242.
More power to you, man.
Do it.
I mean, some people think I'm fucking 95 already.
What?
Yeah, she does. She's
I did not.
crotchety old man. You complain a little.
Do
He's the
not.
curmudgeon.
You're so full of shit. You are
Love
so
it.
full of shit.
There's times when I act like I'm ancient.
You're not wrong.
Don't they call that an old soul?
There you go,
Yeah,
old
yeah,
soul.
He has that wise old soul. He's a
900.
sage. You're a sage.
A sage. Do I have to be named the sage by somebody else, or can I call myself a sage?
You can. You are the sage.
Can somebody define what sage means?
Don't they use that to get rid of others?
Isn't that's
Saging.
sage? No, sage is the
gonna look that
wise,
up.
esoteric individual.
Sage.
That would be like the Buddha was a great sage,
Buddha.
an esoteric individual.
Yeah. The best compliment I got today, I don't even want to say it here on this, but Krista gave me an incredible compliment. I don't even want you to say it out here out loud. I'd appreciate it if you didn't. But you made mention that I was like somebody's doppelganger.
Yes.
Okay. Like that biggest compliment in the world.
There you go.
Wow.
Truth.
Thank you.
Truth. You're very welcome.
Love it.
The wise sage.
Yeah. Because I want that person on this show within 3 years. I'm going to have the other person
Intended.
on here within a year.
That's epic.
Yep.
Good.
Yep. And I want to be
That-
invited onto his show.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, we're going to make great things happen.
I can see it.
Yeah. Cool. Man, this has just been kick-ass for me.
Without a
I
doubt.
really don't care if it was great for
Highly
you.
enjoyable. It was highly
Because
enjoyable.
I'm learning so much.
I'm buzzing, man.
I actually do care.
It's awesome.
So what are some other things, just as we wrap up here, like some other things that can really help somebody? Because there's a lot of unpacking that could take place here. What are some other things we want to talk about?
In terms of
Anything that can help somebody.
quick mindset.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a soft talk challenge.
Okay.
So you can take sticky notes or you can take note cards. And this is the unlifted method. And you write down, and if you don't mind, I'm going to get out my words if that's okay.
Great.
You can write down on the sticky notes, which, you would think I'd have these. Anyway, I'm just going to tell you what the words are.
I just love that you brought 900 pages of notes.
She needs a remarkable.
Yes.
What's that?
We're going to teach her the remarkable.
Oh, I showed her that. She doesn't want it. She likes pens and
Oh,
paper.
I'm a huge, I love pens. And
I showed her.
Pens is the difference, but you should check mine out.
look at here, you can edit this out. Okay, so you're going to take your sticky notes.
We won't be doing that.
Or you take your, note cards or whatever. You're going to put these up in the bathroom. And you're going to write on the note cards or the sticky notes the words think, maybe, like, perhaps, probably, guess, kind of, sort of, possibly, try, could, almost like. I mean, and you can add to that. And you are you can do 7 days, or however, start with 7 because it's a smaller chunk of, and you're going to track mentally in your mind every time you say one of those words. And then the next step would be to take it out. So I did this, I lost track. And my big words are kinda, like, think, all the time.
Yeah.
I think we should do this.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like that.
Right.
All that bullshit babble that
Yep.
doesn't get us anywhere.
And even
Or I
maybe,
can't.
yes, like if somebody asks you to do something and you don't want to do it, you say, well, maybe I can. No, you either want to do it or you don't. You're just afraid to tell them.
Yeah. So in our world, we call that wimp junction.
Yeah.
Not coming up and making a decision.
And I believe that's a boundary issue too. Being able to feel safe with creating a boundary and not having a lashback for it.
Yeah.
Like telling somebody, you know what, I really appreciate that you asked me out, but I'm just not vibing that and I don't want to go. Well, a lot of people are offended by that, in my experience.
Yeah, I know. Maybe I'll consider that when they really
Right,
want
and
to
you
say no.
soften
Yeah,
it. So
right.
here at the soft talk, you want to soften that and escape from actually having to commit to giving them the answer that you want to give.
Yeah, Krista, I think you're a really great human. I think you're pretty awesome. But I'll put some thought into that.
Yeah, exactly.
Just tell me
That's
now.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can
Exactly.
go on to move on.
Moving
right?
on.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on. Yep.
So when you say think about it, you really mean no, correct?
Right.
Most often.
Okay, very good.
Yeah. What is your old coach, Ben Bergeron?
Ben Bergeron.
He would say, turn your
Turn your
shoulds-
have to into get to.
Yes.
You don't have to do anything.
What, can you say it again?
Your have to into a get to. So you don't have
Like,
to do
I
anything.
have to go to work today.
You don't have to go to work.
You get to go to work.
This is big in my
It's
world.
choices, that, and change shoulds into would or will. Should I do this? I will do this.
So think about the things that you think you have to, and then change the perspective and say, and sometimes they're difficult. Like I have to like deal with something very difficult. But if you didn't have that ability to have to do that, you might not even have the ability to do anything. I hope I'm conveying this properly, but like you get that opportunity
Exactly.
to do it.
Yeah.
We get to do this.
Even if it's unpleasant,
That's it. How do we learn?
you're alive.
Because if you don't get to, then you're not able to.
For a multitude of reasons,
Yeah,
potentially.
I mean, it could be because you're incapacitated or
Yep.
something else, or you're not here, you're dead.
Yep.
But now you're alive and you get the
Yep.
opportunity to do this, even if it's difficult.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Man.
I have to go to the gym. No,
See, and
I
that's-
get to go to the gym. I
Yeah.
have to go to the grocery store. Third world problem. I'm sorry you have to go to the grocery store. You get to go to the grocery store. How many people don't have the opportunity?
There's so many people in this
Yep.
world. There's, you said 7.91
Billion people, yep.
I think
Yeah.
we hit 8 billion here recently.
I think so too. I do recall hearing that it's like just on that cusp of 8 billion, which is
Yeah. It blows your mind.
Yeah.
When it brings up the other thing too is, there's just something that you don't really want to do, but you have to, and that's why you say that I have to do this, and but changing it to I get to what the obstacle is the way.
Oh yeah, Ryan Holiday. Going through the obstacle is the only way. You can't go around it, can't go under it, can't climb over it. It defeats the purpose of the lesson is in the middle of the obstacle.
Right. You've got to go through it.
And he even says you have to be in love with the process of how much it hurts or how painful it is. Because you get to feel the pain of the difficulty of the struggle. Opportunity.
I love this.
Growth.
This has helped me a ton today.
Good.
I hope it's helped everybody else out there, because there was some super incredible nuggets that you both shared with.
It's helped me tremendously. I have to tell you, just this, doing a podcast with I've never done a podcast with somebody else. I was incredibly nervous. I was feeling incredibly nervous.
Are you ready to get started?
So,
All right, ready?
yeah, I mean,
Go.
okay, all right.
All right, that was just a warm-up. Let's
Yeah,
rock.
right.
Hey, Jack Lehr. No.
Now we know what we want to talk about.
Okay, very good.
Okay, let me get my notes out.
I mean, I made great notes. I could probably redo this.
I feel like I need a piece of paper.
I mean, first we
Here
started
you go,
out.
honey.
Sarah, you weren't here when we were talking about, like, Krista started studying farts and did a thing on that.
Yep.
I mean, could have had my son here.
I don't think she needs your son.
Stop it.
It's fascinating. It's every FYF, every week's a different curiosity. And it's literally stuff that I'll be like, what do you think is... And I'm like, oh, that's my FYF. I've looked up where swear words came from, like the origin of swear words. I've looked up actually, the first spoken words that were recorded in history. Things like that. I mean, just really interesting things that my brain's just like...
Curiosities?
Yeah,
Curious things, yeah.
Awesome, curious things. Curiosity.
Yep.
Curiosity. So I'd encourage everybody to listen to Krista Kruszon on the Gritty Glitter Badger. And by the way, prior to today, I have bumbled that one up many times.
Gritty Glitter Badger.
Gritty Glitter Badger.
Well, here,
Gritty Glitter
I
Badger.
can give you my pen so that
There
you
it
know
is.
how.
Gritty Glitter Badger. Because I do say gritty
Sounds
glitter.
like a drinking game.
Yeah, I think it is. And then Tate over at Home Check
Absolutely.
Mindset. Super grateful for you guys being here. Super grateful that Krista joined us. It's the first time we met face to face, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
It's like the social media thing that we're doing, and like you think you know somebody, but yet you really don't. And then
Yep.
we get to spend some time together. And
It's the whole, and like we said, the exchanging of the energies.
yeah.
It's totally different when you're in the space together. That
So-
viral communication.
Yeah, so please listen to your podcast.
Yep.
I'm not telling you to listen to it. I'm telling
Yeah, would
you
you?
to. I'm asking you to.
Yep.
Gritty Glitter Badger. And then when you're getting your home inspected in the York, Pennsylvania area-ish, you're going to reach
Northern
out
Maryland
to
as
Tate. Northern
well.
Maryland.
Yep, yep.
And Northern Maryland. Home Check.
That's it. Guys, get that home inspection by someone that knows how.
He always does that on social media. I
Always.
love it. Hey, if this helped you, please subscribe, like, share. We ask that if it's helping you, again, let's spread the word. I'm super grateful that you joined us today on the Lehr